It seems like every day you hear about a terrible and sometimes fatal accident on one of the major highways. The last thing the grieving family is probably thinking at that time is about a lawsuit. But what if a breadwinner has died in the accident? How do you cope with not only the emotional strain, but also the financial loss? Here to talk a little bit about this difficult topic is my law partner, Mike Solomon. So can you give us an example of what we're talking about?
Yeah, okay, so for example, let's say Bill is driving down 90 East, and it's raining, it's slippery out there, and Nancy, let's say, is driving a car near him, and she's texting away, and she cuts Bill off. Bill swerves, hits another car, Bill dies in the accident. The other two people, Nancy and the other person, they're fine. Okay, they pull over, they help address the situation. The question is, okay, now what happens then? Who's at fault?
Yeah, how do you figure it out? Does Nancy's insurance pay? Does Bill's insurance pay? What about the other driver?
Well,
seems like it's got to figure out what's going on.
And that's the problem, because it's important for liability purposes. So you need to figure out, was Bill driving too fast? Maybe even though Nancy cut him off, was Bill just driving too fast or was too close to the person? Was it Bill's fault? Was it Nancy's fault? Just because she was texting and maybe cut him off, maybe that didn't cause the accident. Maybe it was Bill, or maybe the other person who Bill bumped into. Maybe they slammed on their brakes too soon. So there are all sorts of issues that who's at fault, and that's going to determine whose insurance company picks up the tab. Okay,
so it's not as straightforward as it might be is when you're trying to point fingers there at the accident site. So, what do you do?
Well, someone's going to have to make a decision on who's at fault, and this has a lot of implications who's going to pay the bill, so it's really important. So, the police will come out and do some investigation, and if you have multiple insurance companies, they may investigate it on their own, but eventually you, the person or the estate of Bill in my example, is going to investigate that. They'll probably hire an attorney. The attorney's going to have to start doing some legwork to figure out who's at fault, maybe even depose people, trying to figure out the ultimate job of who's at fault. So that's a big issue.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like it's going to happen overnight. Are there some time limits going on?
Well, it's going to take a while. I mean, people are going to have to spend some time doing this, and there are statutes of limitations. If you're going to file a lawsuit, Bill's estate, in my example, if that estate is going to file a lawsuit, there's a period of time they have to do this, and if they let it too far go, they lose that right. And that's generally, it could be as short as a year. So it's not something you should sit on and not investigate early, because people also forget what happens if you wait too long.
Yeah, absolutely. We all know that money can't bring a loved one back or fully compensate for physical injury. However, with the loss often comes the inability to work, out-of-pocket costs, continuing pain, and the loss of a breadwinner. And it's important to remember that there may be a court remedy for you, but you can't sit on your rights. Get help quickly. For more information, give Mike a call. The number's next.
Call Solomon, Steiner and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information, or to schedule a speaker for your organization, or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.